share with you guys some stuff that I went through in Waterbury. I am gonna post the picture of where, but I'm not doing the house because to respect other people. So we're gonna start off. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with mines of where mines occurred. Okay, so we're gonna go with West Clay Street. That is in the South Side area. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what I went through in the South Side area. So in West Clay, there is a house that I lived in. I lived in like 3 houses. It was one of them. And then okay, so in one of the houses, I remember that my mom and dad had went downstairs. They went outside to drink coffee and to talk because that's what they normally do. So I remember I was about, I give it like 8 years old. I was sitting in the living room playing with Barbies, and I remember seeing my mom grab the coffees and go downstairs with my dad, and there was nobody else. My sister was outside because we were mostly be outside in the summer. So I remember I was just playing with my Barbies, and something came out from the kitchen. Mind you, I was in the living room. So it was coming out from the kitchen, and it was a spitting image of my mother. But when I tell you, I knew the difference off rips, because that spirit or that was trying to be as my mother was dead. Like, you could tell that they were cold. You could tell that their face was like bluish. Like, I knew off rip. I'm gonna explain a little bit more of what I go through since I was little, but like seeing things is easier, like seeing and hearing, but I definitely looked at it, and I remember that she was just telling me like, come, and I just looked at her, and I'm like nervous because I was cold. Like, I felt like a cold breeze, and I'm like, you are not my mom. I just saw my mom go downstairs. How are you my mother? And I remember that I was like, you is not my mom. My mom and dad had came upstairs. My dad started praying because my dad was a person, he could feel stuff. So my dad started praying, and it just vanished. Like, it just went. So that was one experience I went through in West Clay Street. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the Franklin Street. So this one is behind Maloney School. I went through 2 experiences there. Okay. Okay, so I remember in Franklin Street, it was December 24th, 2002. I know I was in my room. It was night. I was in my room. I was reading and book, because I like to look at books at that time. And there's a factory that is there. And in that factory, there was like black spirits running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm like, okay. So my mom and dad, especially my mother was very supportive. She was like, hey, listen, like, it's already getting late. Like, mind you, it was Christmas Eve. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I'm like, I just want to look at the books more. So she left, whatever. I looked at the books a couple of months. They came back. And I'm like, I just looked at my dad and I said, hey, listen, I seen black spirits. Normally in Hispanic families or whatever the situation is, that means death. Somebody's gonna pass away. And mind you, 2 days later, somebody did pass away. I'm not gonna get into details on that part. Then in that same house, one morning, my sister was getting ready for school. She was in the 8th grade. She was in middle school. So she was getting ready to go to take the bus. She said that once she got out of our room, we always looked at the living room, because once we got out our room and turned, you could see the living room right there. It was the kitchen, then the living room. So she saw an old lady. Mind you, the guy downstairs, he was an old man. And let me tell you something, that old man's wife died. So I think that's who she saw. But in that apartment, you could hear the floors cracking. You could hear somebody coming up and down the stairs. You could hear people walking. And she's the only one that seen the old lady. if I'm not mistaken. Vanessa, comment. So we went through that. That's something. The house, that house was just terrible. Okay. Then I had somebody that I know that lived in East Main Street near a bar, upstairs from the bar. So in this apartment, the family noticed, like the son did, he noticed that somebody was always sitting on the corner of his bed. Mind you, they were like, that's weird. They'll wake up to somebody sitting, like the bed going down. So there was a time that the mother was in the living room watching her shows, her novelas at that time, and she's seeing an old man walk from the son's room in the hallway into the bathroom. And then mind you, her shows were at 7, so she goes, it was always at the same time, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, you'll hear the floor, and you'll see the shadow of the man going from the son's room to the bathroom. Then back, you'll hear it go, you'll hear it. Then the son said that it kept going on his bed and laying on his bed till one day the mom got fed up and she's like, listen, you don't belong here. This ain't your house. This ain't your time. This is my house. You need to go. The spirit left. So this is what I have down so far. So if you guys would like to like inbox me and show me more stuff, I got more stuff. I'm just waiting, like a few people, like it was like maybe like 3 more people like inbox me about what they experienced. And if you guys check the comments out, you guys will see people giving it, you know, what they've been through. But you can directly inbox me, let me know what you went through, and I could share your story. Like, I don't mind sharing stories. I love sharing people's stories as stuff like this. But I will have today, I will go live. I'm gonna start going live every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Today I am, because I just want you guys to get to know me, you know, what I've been through, why I decided to go into paranormal, what made me decide to do what I do, and yeah. So thank you for watching. Please share, like, put a ghost, and let me know where you're from, and I'll see you later.